Hey yo, hey yo, what up? So right now, um, what has happened thus far or since the last video? Dang, I'm ugly. Uh, what's happened since the last video? The title company has issued some paperwork out to all the parties. It's getting a little complicated because what's going on is um, different parties to the transaction are CC'd on different emails. So there's like three different email threads. One that has like my JV partner and my buyer on it. Another one that has my JV partner and the seller on it. Another one that doesn't have anybody on it. It's just me talking directly with the title company. Um, but essentially, it's all moving smoothly. The seller had the information that he or the forms that he needed to fill out with his information in order to provide to the title company the necessary information to pay off his mortgage, and all the other good stuff that I'm sure they're doing on the back end, like running title and stuff. Um, and the buyer is essentially just kind of on hold. Oh, that's something else that I wanted. I have a list of questions here that I was getting ready to read off to you that I plan on getting answered from the title company. Um, And yeah, so I just want to get them on the phone, clear everything up, figure out exactly what needs to be done, if they need anything from me, and so I'll read you the questions. One, if they received the forms from the seller. I haven't seen the forms, but the seller did call me yesterday saying, hey, it's difficult because he's not very tech savvy. So he has a younger gentleman that lives with him and his wife who helps him out with all that type of stuff. And he gets home, late in the evening. So I had talked with him Friday, and he said he was going to work on it over the weekend and get it back to me. He actually said he was going to get it back to me on Friday, but he called me on Monday and he was like, sorry, I'm a few days late. And I'm like, no worries. Um, it sounds like he was able to print out the forms, fill them out, scan them back in, and send them over to the title company. Now, when he did it, I don't know if I hope that he just didn't click reply to all, which would have included me on the email, and he just clicked reply on the email, which would have just sent it directly to the title company who the email is from. So that's something I need to confirm. He's telling me that it was done, and he told me that he submitted it to the title company. I just haven't seen the forms. So that's my first question that I have for the title company, the woman that I'm speaking with, is did they receive the forms from the seller? Because he told me that he sent them in. I haven't seen them though. Um, and I plan on explaining to them exactly kind of how I just explained it to you. I hope that it was just because he didn't include me on the email and just replied to you directly. Two, if they have received them, do they look to be filled out correctly? Three is his wife. That was brought up. Is please advise if the wife is part of this transaction, his property is vested in her name as well, and it is, and that's always been a thing that I knew was going to have to be handled at title once it got to title, because if you've watched any of these recent videos about this deal here, is the wife just had leg surgery, I believe, and is immobile. The doctor said, don't try to walk around, don't do that. And, had I known at the time that they had this gentleman who lived with them who would help them fill out these forms and scan them back in and all of that, I would have said to do that. But I was so eager to get the contract signed when he agreed to the price that I had him jump through hoops. Well, I didn't necessarily have him jump through hoops. I was jumping through a bunch of hoops in order to get it signed. So he drove into town uh, to a tax service office, like an accountant, and they had a notary public, right? And so I paid them $20. They accepted donations. I shot them $20 to have them, have them sign off on it, stamp approval, notary public, and send me back the signed copies, and to leave him with a copy for himself as well. So when I did that, he was like, he brought it up. He's like, I mean, my wife should probably sign. I was like, yeah, like I don't want you dragging her out of the house because she just had surgery and this, that, and the third. And so I was like, we'll deal with it when it gets to title. So I'm hoping that when it comes time to close, she can just sign off on the closing. And something that the title company has offers, and we've kind of briefly discussed, and something that I'm wanting to get more information on this time when I'm hopping on the phone with them now, is about the uh, kind of the remote closing and the traveling notary public. So if somebody can go out to their house and get these signatures, the wife will be there, right? And that's pretty much what needs to happen. Um, so the next thing is the remote closing and the remote notary public, traveling notary public. Next thing is I wanted confirmation if they received the buyer's earnest money, because the buyer had let me know that he submitted his earnest money. Now, when I submitted my earnest money to the title company, they had sent out a receipt saying received from Derek's company, $100 earnest money that, you know, fulfills his obligations in the contract with the seller. Now, in the assignment agreement between me and the buyer, I had required that he submit his earnest money by a certain date, a deadline, which was last week. And I had that because, I didn't want it just floating in limbo. If he wasn't going to submit his earnest money, that's like his stamp of commitment, essentially. Like, here you go. It was $4,000 non-refundable. Now, it is refundable if I don't fulfill my obligations on my end of the agreement. But I want to confirm that they received that, and also anything else they need from me, and kind of what the process will look like moving forward, and when we can expect to have like a tentative closing date. So hopefully I can get somebody on the phone here. Oh, and something else that I want to verify is like the best point of contact over there for both this file and future files. When I spoke with them last, it sounds like a small office. Sounds like I think she said there's only three of them there, and I've seen all three names, I think Lily, Patricia, and Rebecca. I just want to make sure, and they all sign off as escrow assistant. So I don't know like who's in charge, whose time I'd be wasting if I called and asked these kind of like petty questions. I just want to know who the best point of contact is. And if it's like somebody's assistant that can just answer these questions, I'm fine with that. But I want to be able to have somebody that I can call like randomly like this and have a quick little conversation with, right? Because people, when they get into a certain position, and this is like person specific, and I guess company specific, but people, when they get into like a certain position of authority, they feel like, and it's true, their time is wasted dealing with like stuff like this, like procedural stuff like this that can just be handled by an assistant or something like that. But when it comes down to like serious problems, like escalated problems, then they're the person that I should be talking with. So I just want to get that confirmed. So I'm going to go ahead. First, I'm going to check. I want to check if, yeah, so they have I wanted to just see if they had the same numbers signed off on their email signature, that they weren't listing different numbers, but it's just one office number. It doesn't seem like they have any extensions or anything like that. So I'm going to give them a call. That pause was for dramatic effect. If my Google Voice wants to work, I always, maybe Google Voice isn't necessary when I call my title company, but until I start to build a little bit of rapport and relationship with them, there's really no need for me to explain that I'm doing this virtually and I live in California. Some people just treat it weird, especially, I imagine that one business is starting to be conducted and I start bringing in multiple deals a month and we start closing multiple deals a month. It's going to be a non-issue. They're not going to care one way or another if I'm in Houston or in California. So get them on the phone. Here we go.
Good afternoon, Victor Title. It's Rebecca. How can I help you?
Hi, Rebecca. This is Derek. I was calling on a file that I have open over there with you guys. Just looking to get a few questions answered if you had a moment.
Okay, for what file?
It's 710 Burke Road. I have the should have the reference number some here.
No,
The
I have it here. How can I help you with
Okay,
that?
perfect. So the last email that I got from Lily had a few things attached to it that it looks like she was looking for some confirmation on that I was looking to provide you. And I also just wanted to confirm whether or not you had received a few things from the other parties involved. The seller had let me know, Mr. Robertson had let me know that he had completed and returned the forms that he was required to fill out. I just haven't received them on my end.
Yes, yes.
So you had received those.
Because he faxed it to us. I think it was his. I think it was his information.
Gotcha. Okay. And did those look to be filled out correctly?
You know what? I didn't. Let me check
Okay.
because I know I didn't get the fax. It was really. I know she got it yesterday or the day before.
Yeah,
I think it
yeah.
was yesterday.
Yeah, and I just want, yeah, I don't want to have to waste your time.
And I know he did send it. I know he did send it, and she when he called, we confirmed it.
Gotcha. Okay, I just know he's a little, he's not the best with computers and stuff, so I just wanted to be sure because I hadn't seen it on my
Yeah,
end.
because he said he had gone to I don't know if it was to Office Depot. I know he went somewhere and got it back.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. And as well, on top of that, the buyer, Nestor, Mr. Ramirez, had let me know that he submitted his earnest money, and I just wanted to confirm that you had received that as well.
Oh, let me check on that.
Okay.
Okay. How much of the earnest money was he supposed to send?
I
Just
think
to make sure.
4,000.
4,000. Yeah, I think we got it. When did we get it? Yeah, I saw it. It came in
Like
actually on 28th, and I haven't printed it out because thank God you called me.
perfect.
I didn't know, but I'll go ahead and print it out and send it to everybody to parties concerning the ones that's supposed to be in. And but yes, I'll print it out right now.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, and that was the same thing. He had let me know, and I just wanted to confirm. So perfect. And kind of the last thing here in the email from Lily, Schedule C item 9, she had say, please advise if Martha is part of the transaction as well because our name is vested, property is vested in her name. Sorry, and she is. And this is kind of leading me into the final thing here is that we had spoke about previously about the possibility of doing like a remote closing for them. With her, she just recently had surgery, so she's immobile and she's unable to really leave the house, which is
Yeah, we could do that. The only thing I know there's a charge. I'm not sure if it's between 150 or 225.
okay. That's not a problem.
But let me check something.
Okay.
Okay, give me 1 second. You just had to freeze on me.
No worries.
I'm on the phone. Okay, because I know okay, let me see here. On his information, okay, what is it the buyer's wife or the seller's?
The seller's wife.
The seller's wife. And did they put her information whenever they send it? Mr. Roberts sent the information. Did they put her information in there?
I'm not sure. In the forms that were faxed over, I'm not sure.
Let me find out. See if Lily has that information.
Okay.
have that one from Mr. Robert.
Okay.
Okay, hold on, okay?
Sure.
Thank you for holding. We look forward to talking with you soon. Please hold the line. We'll be right back with you.
Thank you for holding. We sincerely appreciate your patience. Please stay on the line. We'll be back in a moment.
Sounds like it was a good thing that I called. And this is what I'm finding, and what I've learned in my videos I've watched is like you got to stay on top of these people because they're dealing with a lot of files. And again, this is the first file that I brought to them, so to them they're probably thinking, all right, let's just put him on the bottom of the bunch. We don't need to prioritize his file because he doesn't bring us much business anyways, right? They're prioritizing the people who bring them multiple files a month and is the driving force behind their business. So, you kind of got to be annoying. Like, closed mouth doesn't get fed. That's what my mom always used to say. So, if you want that service, you gotta go ask for it. You gotta go reach out and be asking these questions and not feel annoying about it, right? Because it's your business too. To them, they may be thinking in the back of their head, like, oh, this guy asking all these like basic ass questions, right? Like, we'll get to it. Why is he bothering me? That's how I used to feel at my old job. But you just gotta have no shame in your game. Just be, hitting them up as often as you feel you need to be in order to get your questions answered. Because you heard her, she's like, oh, thank God you called because yeah, sorry, I'll do that and I'll do this and I'll do that. Yeah, he sent in the $4,000 last week. So, just like I said, right when I submitted my earnest money, I emailed and said, hey, I submitted the earnest money. Can you confirm receipt? And she's like, yeah, let me acknowledge it and send it out to all the parties. And then the buyer said that he did that last Wednesday, which is 6 days ago. And it sounds like that's exactly when she got it. And it's been 6 days and she hasn't acknowledged it. She hasn't let everybody know, like, hey, yeah, the buyer sent in the earnest money. With the forms that the seller submitted, I'll give them a break on that because he just submitted it yesterday. But I don't know. That's why I want to ask right now, like, who's the best point of contact for this file? Because I don't want to have to play like telephone like we're playing right now. Like, ask her so that she can go ask her to ask her assistant for the facts that they received yesterday. Like, I want to talk to somebody it's right in front of them. They can pull it up on their computer. They can pull the paperwork up in the fact, whatever the case may be. I just want to streamline it. That way I'm not wasting her time just so that she can play middleman. And I'm not wasting my own time to sit here on hold until she can go get the information that I need. Because I guarantee you right now, like, they're probably looking at it and they're refamiliarizing themselves with the case. Because again, I get it. They have plenty of files. Like, they don't have to act like, oh yeah, I know that file, like the back of my hand. Like, but then are unable to answer my questions. And that's kind of the vibe I got right there. It was like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. It's like, okay, well, can you let me know this? And she's like, let me go ask her,
Oh, sir?
Yes.
Hello? Okay. Yes, we do have the wife's information. That's what we're trying to find the seller's information, just to make sure I had her information. Once I put it in, and I'll go ahead and, like I said, I'll be sending out the earnest money receipt.
Okay, perfect. So there's nothing more than you need from the wife, other than, I guess, when it comes down to the remote closing, she'll be there to sign off on things as well.
Whenever we come to the remote closing, we'll let y'all know, because we're gonna need a phone number, address, you know, so whenever the notary goes to sign them up.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And is there anything else that you need from me moving forward, or is everything all good?
No, right now we don't need nothing else. Do we need anything else right now? Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
No, we're just gonna request a payoff, and that is it.
All right. Perfect. And just, I know you probably are unable to confirm right now, but would you have like a tentative closing date on this?
I'm sorry. Is there a survey that we're gonna need? An existing survey?
I'm sorry?
Is there an existing survey?
I'm unsure.
Okay, can you find out, or do we need to order one? If we need to order one.
Sure. Let me ask. And that's something that the seller would be privy to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they would know if they have a survey. If not, if we need to request one.
I would imagine that we would need to request one, only because he lives so far and he's kind of been separated from this property for a few years now.
Okay, if we do, can you get somebody to send us an email? No. Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Then we'll let you. If you can find out if they have one or not. If not, just let us know, and then we'll request it.
All right. Perfect. And just out of curiosity now, just so that I'm not wasting anybody's time on your guys' end, is there should I be talking to Lily specifically for this file? Would she be the best point of contact?
If there's anything with commitments or something that she emailed you, then you could email her back.
Okay.
Just respond to her email, and she'll respond to you.
Okay.
That same day, not the same day, the next day.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. There you go. I don't want to jump to the conclusion, and to me, she's rushing me off the phone. To me, she's not really giving me the level of attention that I really want. But I also have to consider all the details. The fact that I'm a new investor, I want somebody to hold my hand, but she may not be the right person to do that. I really should have some type of a mentor. When it comes to the land survey, I almost just want to tell her just to request one, because I don't want to have to go through I was under the impression that a survey was only required on a lot where the buyer is going to really want to know the parameters in which they can build upon, and really know where, down to the T, where their lot ends and the next one begins. So, and then with that, I don't know if that's going to cost money. I'd imagine it would. I don't know. So I'm just going to go ahead and, next time I speak with I'm just going to go ahead and email them and say to request the land survey. I'm not going to waste the seller's time. I guess I can call them real quick. I'm just making it more difficult for myself, but, I pretty much got all my questions answered. Did they receive the forms from the seller? Yes. Do they look to be filled out correctly? Again, she hadn't really looked at them, so she was unable to tell me. It sounds like Lily was in the background, who was, I feel like, would have spoke up if there was something that was filled out incorrectly, but I kind of made a little note for myself to kind of follow up in that regard, so that when they send me an email, or I might include it in the email where I say, yes, please request the land please request a survey. Also, just want to confirm that the seller had filled out all of his information or all of the forms correctly. I'll probably do that. I confirmed that his wife was a party to the transaction, and she kind of confirmed that that her information was included on the seller's forms that he's faxed in, and that when it comes time to remote closing, she can just be there and sign up. And that's where you can hear her cutting me off. That's what I don't appreciate. It's one thing to like want to shoot me off the phone, but like don't cut me off when I'm asking questions. That bothers me because now I feel like you don't even really understand what I'm asking, and you're assuming what I'm asking, and you're responding in a way that is not saving anybody time because you're gonna jump to the conclusion. You're gonna assume that you know what I want to hear. You're gonna tell me something, and then it's not what I want to hear, and then I'm gonna have to ask the question again. But you can hear it. I'm gonna re-listen to this too because I could be tripping. I could be like in my own head about it, but she definitely cuts me off when I'm asking questions. The remote closing sounds like it's gonna cost a little money, but that's all right as long as I could just be taken out of my assignment fee, or the buyer can cover it. Estimated closing date. She didn't answer that. Again, it's kind of like she's like telling me an answer that she wants to say and not necessarily like giving me an answer to my question. I asked if there's anything that they need from me and a tentative closing date, and she was like, "Yeah, we just need the land survey. Do they need one?" It's like, "Oh, okay. Well, like, what does that mean? Like, give me a timeline, right? Like, how long does it?" What I want her to say is, "Yeah, all we would need is a land survey. You know, those typically take X amount of days. If you can let me know by tomorrow whether or not we need to request one, we can submit the request by tomorrow or the following day, and we should have one completed by, you know, X." So didn't really get an answer on that one. Did they receive the buyer's earnest money? They did, and they're going to send out acknowledgement and the best point of contact for the file. That's kind of exactly what I was saying earlier. If it comes to procedural type stuff, ancillary type, like because I'm looking at Lily's email right now with all of these things that I was looking to address. And she's saying essentially you can just reply to her emails, but anything more, if you're going to want to call in, you're going to call in. And then again, there's only one phone number. So it's like, sounds like she wants to be the point of contact. If I had to guess, it's because she doesn't necessarily trust Lily to be handling any more than just the procedural type things. So yeah, what I'll do now is email them to request a survey. And what was I going to say? I just said it. Gosh. Oh, and confirm that the seller's forms have been filled out correctly. Remember survey and confirm that the seller's forms have been filled out correctly. What else? I think that's it. And then I just want to look out for their email to confirm the earnest money deposit from the buyer and just acknowledge that, and that's it. Now the only thing that needs to be done is the land survey, and then the mortgage payoff, and then we'd be good to close on that as long as the tenant is out, because that's what the buyer needs. The tenant knows that she has until the 19th of August, which is our tentative closing date that I have on the original purchase and sale agreement with the seller. I don't see there being any reason why we couldn't close within the next 16 days. I don't know, but I don't foresee the land survey and the mortgage payoff taking any longer than 2 weeks. So it sounds like the tenant may bring it down to the wire to the very last day in order to get out, but she knows that she has to leave. So it's kind of all good there. It's just a matter of where she's going to move to. I have a realtor working with her. And that's something else that I'm going to do today right now is, we message through Facebook. I'm going to let them know, just kind of reach out and ask, hey, just wanted to round back, And, did you have an estimated timeline in which you think you'd be able to, um, have the tenant move into a new place? I know you're still in kind of the preliminary phases of qualifying her, or preliminary phases of figuring out what she may be able to qualify for. But just wanted to see, in all reasonableness, how quickly something like this could get done. Um, and I want to frame it exactly like that to let them know, like, oh, look, I understand that I'm asking a lot of you, but I just want to know, is it going to be something that you think you can get done in the next 16 days, get her a new place and move into, or am I just completely out of my mind and it's going to be another 30 days at least? Because if she's looking to buy a new place, it's going to for sure be longer than that, because she's going to have to get a loan, and the loan qualification process is not short by any means, based on my understanding. So something else that just needs to be confirmed, but that's the only two things. We just need to get the tenant out and need to clear title and get all these, the mortgage paid off and the land survey completed. It sounds like it's the only things that need to happen on the title company's end. So continue hopping on here as things go on, providing you updates. I may even hop on later if I get the emails and I get some responses from, the title company and or the realtor on some estimated timelines, so that I can just, again, track my progress, let you guys know where I'm at with things, and hold myself accountable to actually do the work. So appreciate you. If this is the first time you're tuning in, I ask that you drop a like, pay the fee, the free fee of hitting that like button if you enjoy the content, and go check out the other videos if you enjoy the rest of the content. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe, and if you have any thoughts or questions, please do leave it in the comments, or if you have any guidance for me. That's something else that I always want to open it up to. I don't want it to be like, oh, I know it all, because I don't. I know I don't know a lot, and I would prefer somebody who knows more than me and is willing to help to kind of provide that guidance in the comment section. So please do, if you heard anything in this video where you're like, oh yeah, land survey, easy, this is what it's going to look like, this is how long it's going to take, I'd appreciate, or like a good title company will be able to do that in X amount of days. A good title company, shouldn't be, doing the things that you're requesting of them, right? Maybe I'm just so far-fetched in my expectations, so let me know. Am I being unreasonable in how I'm talking to her? Am I being unreasonable by calling and asking these type of questions? Am I being unreasonable to expect her to not cut me off when I'm asking these questions? Let me know. Am I being so much of a rookie that it's hindering my appearance as a professional? That's what my main concern is, right? I don't want to come across, I'm cool with coming across as not knowing much and asking questions, but I also don't want it to come across as who is this guy? I don't want to lose credibility in me seeking information. I know that again, it's probably, that's not something that I want to wrap my head around, and I would just prefer to get in with a title company that's willing to hold my hand through it. But again, let me know if you have experience. Let me know if that's unreasonable of me to ask, to link up with a title company that's proficient, going to be able to do everything that I want them to do, and be able to hold my hand through the process. But again, appreciate everybody. Until next one, peace.